Hello everybody, it is time for another patch update. As you can see, I put up some additional windbreak. I put this a little closer to the plants just because the plants haven't fully rooted in along the vine yet. So I didn't want them to be flopping around in this wonderful wind because it's a little breezy out. I don't know if you can totally make that out. Oh, there's a good sized gust coming. Yeah, it's been like this since 3 o'clock this morning. Nothing but harsh winds. But despite that, the plants are doing very well. And if you've seen from yesterday's post, I cut the unlucky pumpkin plants, and then we're stuck with these guys. We're not stuck; these are the chosen ones. Which they're all doing pretty decent. Basically, right there, I have a post on all 3 of my plants. That's the 10-foot mark. And if when these guys hit the 10-foot mark and I'm happy with how the plants are looking, I will start pollinating the flowers, the female flowers at that time. Which, let me back that up for a moment. When they reach 10 feet, the first female flower that I spot inside the tip, that's the one I will go for, which will probably grow another foot, 1 to 2 feet, which should bring them close to 12 feet, which is still about 5 to 7 feet, well, 3 to 5 feet shorter, smaller than I usually do it. But the way this spring is and going into summer has gone, I think that's just what we're gonna have to do to get any good size. But if we look over here, finally are getting some good secondaries going. This is the 1649 Holland, and he is getting some good secondaries. They all are. But he's throwing out the best secondaries. The 1030 Mason, they're coming, but they're not the greatest. Then we have the I always forget the number. It's the Barlow. Sorry, walking right past it. It is the 2283 Barlow. And he's, whoops, there they are. They're started. His secondaries are decent. I'll place him as second place. So, if how things are looking now, I would say the Holland will be my first plant I pollinate. Then the Barlow, and then the Mason, as far as how the secondaries are going. As far as length goes, I think, I'm not sure here. Yeah, as far as length goes, the Barlow is probably what is that? That's maybe a week 2 feet, maybe 18 inches. So he's actually doing pretty good lengthwise. He just needs to step up his secondary growth game, which he could, but I don't think the Holland's doing all that much far off either, though. Oh yeah, I would say that's probably a strong 2 feet. Well, I'll just measure, but he's about 2 feet away. So yeah, there we have that. What else did I do? I did a little more broad forking around the plants. You know, as they grow, I'm breaking everything up. And yesterday, when it was the opposite of today, as far as wind-wise, it was calmer than I'll get out. It's hard to see here, but over here, there's still quite a bit of thistles. Some of them might have popped up, you know, since the last time I sprayed Roundup, but I did obviously had missed like this grouping here. There's a grouping up there. You know, there's little patches. This was the worst one, as far as still having thistles. So I sprayed all 3 of them again to get the thistles down. So hopefully within a week that'll all die off. And then let's see here. The next thing I want to do is start setting up the whole drip tape system here, which will mean I'll have to broad fork rake this out, you know, in line with the plants, but I want to wait for the Roundup to kick in and do its thing and not be too much of a threat to the plants yet anymore. So that's probably my next project in here. Usually it would be a mix between putting the drip tape down and putting the shade cloth, but I don't think I have to worry about that quite yet. At least not for next week and a half. It's looking a little chilly. But let's see here. I think that might be it. We are getting closer to entering the maintenance stage, and that's basically keeping everything weeded underneath the plant and around, bearing vines, and training the main vine and then the secondaries, and then pruning what needs to get pruned on them. So in that sense, it's kind of nice. It's nice being in the maintenance stage of the plant's life. But what the biggest project was, well, here I'll show you. It's still pumpkin related, but it's not giant pumpkin related. And I'll go take you over there. This is what I was doing. This is really what I was doing basically all day Saturday. This is my regular pumpkin and gourds, you know, fall decoration pumpkin patch. And I transplanted all of these. I guys in here. They're all looking pretty good. Way down there, there's one plant that rather didn't like all the sunlight or didn't like the wonderful wind. There could have been a combination of both. But one didn't make it. But we had 96 plants. 1 plant out of 96 isn't too bad. Can't complain. And then over there we see the 3 strings. Those are 3 rows of sunflowers. Got that all planted. It might take a little bit longer this year to germinate. These guys I did start in my inside because there would have been no way they would have been able to germinate properly, and germination rate would have been pretty low. So I started them inside, obviously, which wasn't too bad because I was able to see the first true leaves were coming, so I was able to point the plants in the direction I wanted them to go. So that was kind of nice. But anyways, yeah, that's basically it for at least out here. Take you back into the giant pumpkin patch for one last look. All right, now we're back here. Back at these nice looking plants, which are giving their all despite the wonderful weather. So now it's time to bury any nodes that need burying. Do a little foliar spraying, and that'll probably be it for what I can do out here, because we're going to be getting some rain Tuesday night into Wednesday, so holding off on watering them. And I wanted to mention this one last thing. Along with this windbreak that I put up, I put them all on. I was pounding posts and further down because the wind was doing wonderful things with it. But this wasn't my original idea. I got it from another fellow giant pumpkin grower. I put these clamps on here, so tomorrow morning all I should do is take all these clamps off, and I can take this windbreak off in a way so that they're not, because it does in the morning and in the evening shade the plants. As you can see right now, as the sun is setting, this guy, almost half his plant is not getting any sunlight right now. It's getting very filtered, and which I don't want. But it's sort of a necessary evil to have up here because of the wind. So that is nice just to be able to take this windbreak down on the calmer days, so that these guys get the full benefit of the sun, because that at times can be pretty scarce. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys for this week. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.